All right. Shalom, brethren. I see you. All right. Shalom, brethren. I see you. I see you. I see you. Elijah, brother. That's Shell. I don't know who you are. I've never seen you before, but welcome. Thank you for joining me. My channel. Let me get started. I don't think you're going to hear me blow the shofar. My mic won't pick it up, but that's what I'm going to do. All right. I tried to make it low so the mic would pick it up. I don't think it did, though. I don't know. Won't find out until I check the video. All right. I hope y'all can hear me okay. If you don't mind, put a 1 in the chat to let me know if the audio is coming out okay. Just got this microphone, so you never know. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and begin because I got a lot to say, man. I got a lot to say as usual. So let me go ahead and begin in the Essene Gospel piece here, the teachings of the elect. And it lists the angels of the daytime and angels of the evening. And I just try to use it as an opportunity to give thanks, be thankful for what the Creator does to help us in our reality. I use the Friday, Saturday time as the time of the Sabbath. So I use those times to, because it says here on the first day, the second day, the third day after Sabbath. And so just to give people a reference point. But when you talk about the angels, you really don't need no first, second, third day, fourth day, or anything like that. Just so long as you give thanks, learn to give thanks. Just so long as you learn to give thanks, that's all that really matters. So let's go ahead and do the angels. Let's acknowledge the angels. Just acknowledge the angels. Today being Friday, which a lot of people hold as the Sabbath, would be the angel of air. Would be the angel of air. So it tells you how you can acknowledge the angel of the air. So let me find it. And when I find it, we can acknowledge it. So the angel of the air. And it's just a good way to get you to practice the spirit of Thanksgiving, really. Acknowledging the angels. That's all it is. So let me see. Where is it at? Angel of air. Let me see. I should be able to go to these communions right away, but I always end up having to look for it. Let's see. Okay. Right here. Nope. Wow, this is amazing. This is the hardest time I've ever had trying to find the angels. Let's see. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Here we go. So this is the angel of air. So I'm going to say these words, and then we're going to 3 times on 3. We're going to say these words together. Okay? So on the 7th rising after Sabbath, say these words. So we're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Angel of air, enter with my breath and give the air of life to my body. Again, 1, 2, 3. Angel of air, enter with my breath and give the air of life to my body. One more time. Angel of air, enter with my breath and give the air of life to my body. And then we read, know, O sons of light, that the angel of air is the messenger of the heavenly Father, and no one comes before the face of God that the angel of air lets not pass. For we do not think of the angel of air when we breathe, for when we breathe without thought, as the sons of darkness live their lives without thought. But when the power of light enters our words, when the power of life enters your words and into your breathing, then for every time you invoke the angel of air, so do ye also invoke the unknown angels of the Heavenly Father, and you will go closer and closer to the heavenly kingdom. There go my brother, Bronze Yogi, man. I can't help it, man. I got to tell you again, man. I love that video. I love that video, man, that you put out. I just, let me see something here. Okay. I'm going to make you a moderator. I'll do that when I get the chance. But I want to encourage you on that video, bro. That was, I really like that. Glad to see you, bro. And then a lot of people, they hold the Friday, Saturday evening as Sabbath. And so I just go along with it. But although I believe the day is different. And so here it is, the worship, the acknowledging of the Heavenly Father, the acknowledging of the Heavenly Father. And it says on the Sabbath evening, say these words. So we're going to say these words 3 times together on 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3. The Heavenly Father and I are one. Again, 1, 2, 3. The Heavenly Father and I are one. One more time. 1, 2, 3. The Heavenly Father and I are one. And then we read, and close your eyes, sons of light, and then sleep. Enter in the unknown realms of the Heavenly Father, and you will bathe in the light of the stars, and the Heavenly Father will hold you in his hand and cause the spring of knowledge to well up within you, a fountain of power pouring forth living waters, a flood of love and of all-embracing wisdom, like the splendor of eternal light. And one day the eyes of your spirit shall open, and you shall know all things. All right, so, and then on top of that, I got a room on Facebook. I got a room on Facebook where I'm trying to just have brethren come together and have fellowship with one another. I like to try to read the OAHSPE or really anything that I think will really bless brethren. They'll really enjoy reading things from different sources that I think glorify the Creator. And so here's my room. Here's a food ministry where I try to target orphans, elderly, disabled, food ministry. Then here's the room where I just try to post things. I just try to share. Here's a Bible study that brethren are trying to have on Wednesday. Here's the information. Just make sure you do a screenshot. Just stop the video and take the information down. I'm going to scroll it. And so you can join it if you want to. It's every Wednesday. You can check it out, come in, see if it help you and encourage you. And I really like it so far. It's lively. Brethren like to participate. So just going to scroll it so you can see the information if you want to join. Every Wednesday, contact them. They'll put you on the email list, tell you a rundown of the month's activities. And so, brethren, faith is, we're going to get the whole objective is for us to come together. That's the whole objective, man. The Creator is going to bring us together. Just like people in the world, they have like societies and they get together, like-minded brethren. Creator is going to say, okay, you want to worship me. You saying that you want to be with my people. All right. If it's true, then I'm going to gather you then. I'm going to go ahead and gather you. I have realms in the spiritual. They are blessed. They are forever. And they're filled with faiths, brethren, just like you. So I have a room where I just try to give brethren an opportunity where you can share things that you're learning. You could read something, maybe give you a newfound wisdom on a subject that you've been thinking about, encourage you, get you over a rough patch in your life. Somebody may say something, post something, do something. So just to give you a small idea of what goes on in this room, where you can read, I like to, again, post from the OAHSPE Bible. And so I should have a link where you click on it, it'll bring you in. So just check it out. Some things from the OAHSPE that I posted. Here's one. But as the light of a full-grown man differs from that of a child, so in different degree was the light of men. And those with the higher light were called faithless, because they perceived that wisdom shaped all things and ruled to the ultimate glory of the all one. But those of the lesser light were called Cain, the drunk, because their trust was more in corporeal, physical things than in spiritual things. Ain't it amazing how? And I learned something today. Creator gave me something today that I hope blesses you, brethren. The word that came to me was Yahweh. My light, my truth is way more than the OAHSPE. It is so much more than the OAHSPE. The word I got was that I have so much more for my children. What you have You just have a little fraction. You just have a little fraction of a blessing. The OAHSPE. It's way, brother, it's way more for faithists than just the OAHSPE. Don't you know the earth, it's got like 70,000 something years left before it go into darkness. It go into dissolution. It go into nothingness. It starts a new cycle. And so we don't have the last revelation. It was on my mind all day today. This is not, we just have a little fraction. It's all really just getting started. So far as the plan of the cosmic era, the kingdom to come, and we really just got a little fraction of light, word. And you look at the OAHSPE, it's a big old book. It's a big chunky book. And the thing, I was looking at a video, and the sister, I was really excited at first because she was reading from the book of Ah, the same book I'm going to read from when I do the reading. And I was excited because somebody else was reading on it. And it turned out that she doesn't receive the OAHSPE. She can't understand it. She couldn't get it. It looked like she was trying though, but she couldn't get it. And I still invited her to have fellowship because I loved her mind, the way she was questioning, and she taught me something. And that's where that word came, where Creator, I need to find another way of saying the spirit gave me this, or I don't know. There's another way I want to put it. Oh, let me put the link in the room in case somebody want to come in. On my channel here, I try to make it an interactive channel to where even if I'm reading or I'm saying something, brother, someone, anyone, you come in, and if you have something that you can share with brethren, encourage brethren, or testify, I want to make this channel that type of channel. The link is in the room. I just put the link in there. So, might as well show it. So, if any brother is listening to me, if somebody hear me and you want to come in, or if you want to, you have something that you want to share, then you can just hit the link. You can, and I'll stop the whatever it is that I'm talking about. I'll be glad to have you come on. And I want brethren to talk to one another. Is what I want to try to make this channel do. So click on the link, and the way I got the screen, I might miss you for a couple of seconds, but eventually I'll get to you, bring you in, we'll talk or whatever you want to do. So anyway, this post right here, interesting post. And that's the thing, the OAHSPE, really talking to you about life, talking to you about the way, how it go in our life, talking to you about present day reality situations. That's the thing that is really attractive about the OAHSPE. So here's something again, and this is, I was talking about this video I was looking at, and the sister was reading from the OAHSPE. Now she couldn't get it because she didn't have, I could tell she didn't have enough learning on the, like, things like the difference between the gods, the lords, the angels. It seemed like she picked up a part of the OAHSPE to read, and it was a lot of dry reading, and it turned her off. And she didn't want, it wasn't exciting enough for her. And I could hear the spirit go out of her breath. So far as her, she wasn't into it. She was bored. It was dry reading. She couldn't get it. She couldn't explain it. So she just started trying to read it and get through it. But I loved the way she was. I could see the questions in her mind, that she had questions that a faithless brother or sister would have been able to answer. And I loved that part of her. I loved it. I truly loved it. So I invited her to have fellowship. I don't know if she'll come in, but I love that questioning. She asked some legitimate questions. It showed that she thinks about what she reads. And I'm just bringing all this out because as I was looking at that video, it's like I began to think, and it wasn't me. I think it was thought that was given to me is that this is not all there is. The OAHSPE, that's a pretty big book. But Yaikwab, this ain't all there is by far. This is just the beginning. The OAHSPE is just the beginning to prepare us. The Creator, He can't give it all to us at once. He can't give it all to it at once. But looking at that sister do that video, it told me something. This word, this truth here, I mean, I don't know how to say it, but the OAHSPE, it keeps saying how it's for you brethren. And you're not a lot of people. And it's going to be that way, at least in the beginning. It's not going to be a whole lot of people that are going to run to this thing. It's just for you brethren who can receive it. And I don't want to sound exclusive, man, but I'm telling the truth. I'm telling the truth. Creator is letting you go free. He letting you go free from bondage and religion. He's saying to you, hey, you go free now. Go free and be as much as you can be. You got a lot of talent. You got a lot of ability. Religion keeps you, it restrains you from being your highest self. And the Creator is basically saying, get out of that and let me feed you. If you're willing, the choice is yours, your free will. And if you can receive my word, then you can elevate in your spirit. You can become way much more than you ever dreamed. And I believe it. And that's the thing right there, is believing it, whether you can receive it. That's the whole thing. And I was sharing yesterday how I perceive, when I came into this into a lively group of brethren. The Creator gang and brethren over there, and real lively. And I thought that that's the way it was going to be. When I start looking and inviting other faithless brethren to join me in my room, and when I began to do ministry to them, I thought it was going to be the same way. Always brethren, real lively, wanting to share and getting together. And man, I was all for that. I was all for it, man. And then reality set in where it's really the same experience since I've been ministering in spiritual books. It's not much. It's like at first everything seems alive and well when people are talking to you about something new, and then reality set in and you see where people are just wiped out spiritually. The world, no time to examine yourself and to let the Creator bless you, give you things you can read. You can concentrate on the things that He talks about. Consider the things that He say that'll bless your soul. I'm one of the fortunate ones, but I had to pray for it. I had to pray to stop working. I had to pray for a couple of years. Even though I was really doing good, really doing good. But I started to pray, man, that I didn't want to work. I did not. There was nothing. Money don't affect me. It don't, you know what I mean? It don't. I need it, but it don't dominate my thinking. You know what I mean? It don't I don't know. You fill in the blank. I'm not, you know, I don't live my whole life preoccupied with it. It seemed like the Creator always never let me go without it. Even though I was homeless at one point, it seemed like He never let me fall to the ground. He just wouldn't do it. And that's another thing that I learned today, that brethren, you realize that you spiritual, man, you should go free. You should fly free, man. Meaning go in the way that the Spirit is leading you. Just go, man. And if nobody can overstand you, just go anyway. You know, you free now, brother. You can go free if you want to. Elijah said, perfectly understandable, brother. Creator got time for His people that choose Him, only to come together when the right time comes. Yeah, the right time will come, and it is steadily approaching. I think it's the word you wanted to put in there. Yeah, you said it perfectly, bro. That's the lesson I learned today. You just, the thing that shakes me up is we surrounded by brethren who are sold out to the world. All they can see is the earth. They can only see the world. That's why you brethren, among other things, spiritually, you call it stars. Because you look up in the sky and they're surrounded by darkness, and it's just a star here and a star there. But here in this post, it says, but as the light of a full-grown man differs from that of a child's, so in different degree was the light of men, the understanding of men. And those with the higher light were called faithless, because they perceived that wisdom shaped all things and ruled to the ultimate glory of the All One. But those of the lesser light were called Cain, the drunk, because their trust was more in physical things like their five senses than in spiritual things, which are the unsenses, I'll say, things you can't see. See, it's like if you got a foundation for truth, you should follow it. First, you should know what your foundation of truth is. For me, if something resonates with me, that's truth. If something informs me, to me, that's truth until I find out otherwise. If something is telling me something that's plain and simply good for me, that's truth. Because those things, they can endure forever. That's forever, man, But if there's something advocating some type of injury or some type of wrongdoing, I know right off the bat, man, that's not from the Creator. That's not forever. And the Creator, He talked about what's forever. See, the OAHSPE, brethren, spirituality, the Creator, man, He's way more than that, man. That's the word I was given. I mean, He's way, way more than, hey man, don't you know that He said He got planets that in the ethereal world? Do you know He said He got billions of planets? That's in the OAHSPE. See, Ron Yogi say the light of a person has at the time is the light they have. Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying that we walk according to the light we have. We in this situation because we desire to be in it. That's why you brethren are on this path, because you desire to be on it. You brethren are choosing to be on this path. So you can't say, well, the world, they don't agree with me, so I must be wrong, brother. You got it backwards, man. Is somebody in the room wanting to come in? I see something here. Let me see. Is somebody trying to get in? Let me look. Okay, no, I'm just looking at something else. Hey, hit the link if anybody want to come in and you want to share a word or anything like that. You can. It don't matter whether I'm doing a reading or anything. I'm trying to make it to where brethren, they know they can come on and we're going to talk to one another. My dream is to see a room full of people. That's why I bought this software, StreamYard, so that a whole screen full of people will come on at some point and be sharing about what's going on with them, things they're learning. Because other brethren, they need to hear that. We need to know there's more of us out here. Faith this. We up against the world. We ain't trying to fight nobody, but you brethren, you got to realize that you are called into this. You're coming into this reality basically at this time. This is the time you're coming. Now you're born again. You're checking into this reality now, meaning you are alive, even though it's like we're in the flesh and we're buried in the flesh. Our spirit is buried in the flesh. We not who we gonna be. See, you see what I'm saying? We brethren, you know that, right? You know we not who we're gonna be. See, that's what should make you excited right there. So now we got the opportunity. Hey, when you see me doing these videos, it's like you see a brother running. You see a brother who's running. I don't claim to know it all. I don't claim to be the greatest. I write books, but as you notice, I don't even share them. I don't think I'm a great writer. All I try to do is show sincerity and truth that I want to chase the Creator. That's all I'm trying to do. So when you see a brother like me, you see a running brother. I'm just running, man. I'm running towards the Creator. He give me a gift to believe in things that's hard to explain and hard to share with other brethren. You brethren got the same gift. And it's time that you quit trying to give it away, so to speak. I mean, acknowledge that you're special. Creator, you the one that decided to get on this road and walk it. You may not realize it, but the Creator, remember, we under free will. See? So it's like you buy a field, just like it say in the Bible. It's like everybody in the world. It's like the Spirit say, do you want that field? Do you want that field? It's like the lottery. It's what I'm getting ready to, the point I'm ready to make. We bought a ticket. The ticket was a winner. And we gonna cash in, meaning you chose to receive to the life of spirituality, have that mind. Creator blessed you for it. You made that decision. He gave you the ability, and now we working it. So we working it, knowing that we hit the jackpot. That's really why you brethren keep going, really. You don't do anything that's against your best interest. Don't nobody do anything against your best interest. You know that you got to have this, the first thing that people ask in the world is what's in it for me, don't they? They say, what's in it for me? That's the first thing they want to know. I heard a funny story. Y'all heard about that senator? That guy who he got caught for the second time, man. Robert Menendez, corruption. See, in the world, they do the same thing. People, they size themselves up. They say, hey, man, I'm smart. Oh, man, look at me. I can deceive people. People, they like me. They say I'm real smart. They say I can spin a tail. And, that means that if I get a little if I get a little education behind me, I can run for office. I can dress well, get in front of the people, lie to them. They'll believe me. I see how people, they'll trust you. If all you do is get up there and talk about God, just talk to them a little bit about God and pray and then get up there and give a speech. Make sure your clothes, you have press suits on. Your suits are all pressed, shoes shiny. Get in front of people, talk like you got some sense, and you can get elected to office. And then that's when the party really starts. See, people, they work in their own best interests. Everybody, everywhere. And somehow, you brethren, you consider things, you just have a spiritual mindset. You got a spiritual mindset. And the shame of it is, it don't really mean a whole lot to you, brethren. You don't really, you tired, I hope you, brother, I'm not trying to speak negatively, but I'm trying to say, like, it's no longer Christmas for you, brother. You know what I mean? I'm not, I ain't talking about, the holiday Christmas. I mean, the excitement ain't there no more, from what I can see. It's not, brethren don't really get excited. I mean, I knew when I first came in to OAHSPE that, that feeling ain't gonna last forever. And that it came true. Brethren, they tire out. Now I say it a lot because of that room I have. I thought, man, this is gonna blow up now. The OAHSPE brethren, they're gonna come in and be excited, and I was sadly disappointed. I'm still sadly disappointed. It don't mean that I'm down and depressed. And me, I'm a brother. I'm gonna keep running. I was talking with my brother, my flesh and blood brother, the other night, and I was telling him about something my uncle used to tell me, and he used to always say back when I was Curtis, he'd say, Kurt, just wait till you hit your stride in life. Wait until you hit your stride, and you're going to know when you're going to hit it. It's going to feel right. You're going to think about it all the time. You're going to be good at it, and you're going to work harder at it than everybody else. That's when you know, brother, you done hit your stride. That means you're going to do it for the rest of your life. And see, when he get a hold of you, see, that's when you done hit your stride. You say, all you got to do is let yourself go for it. He done gave us the OAHSPE telling you that don't look down on your brother. Don't slander your brother. It's all good, man. This is the kingdom where we want to live in. That's the neighborhood. See, where there are places on the earth. You know what I'm getting ready to get at? Where people live. You always looked at it. You want to live there. See, you fake this. That's where you're going to live. See, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man. I mean, at least for me, growing up, realizing the imbalance that's in this reality, it made me give up quickly. I mean, so far as I wasn't going to chase the world. When I saw that, now I'm going to say something. I don't know if my brother is looking at this right now. I don't know if he's in the room. He might be, he might not be. But, I used to play baseball, right? And I'll never forget this story. I'll never forget it. In high school, this might surprise my brother if he's listening. In high school, hey, bro, his name was Clamo. You remember Mr. Clamo? I don't know if you're here if you're on the chat, Mr. Clamo. And brothers was telling me, man, don't even try out. Don't try out, man. Don't try out for the team. You ain't gonna make it. He's a racist, right? He's a racist, right? And I said, well, to me, when you got talent, it don't matter because they want to win. And so I tried out and I got cut, right? And not only did I get cut, all 13 brothers except one got cut. All of us got, and we was running fast through. I mean, it was plain and simple. And I know you, brethren, you probably got the same story. And it was plain and simple that we were better than the white brothers. We were just better than them. In the drills, in the hitting, in the fielding. And even a kid would be able to see it. And he let all of us go, except for one. And then that brother quit. And then that brother quit. And I looked and I sat back. I said, well, how do you like that? How do you like that? He let all of his best players go. And it ain't nothing to nobody. And then I extrapolated that out to the world. I said, you know what? That's the way. It don't matter if you're better qualified. See, I learned at a young age. I learned at a young age. Them brothers would say, man, don't even waste your time, Yaquan. I mean, well, I was Curtis back then. They said, don't waste your time, bro. You know, because he ain't gonna keep you. And they at that age, kids, you know, or not, I don't call them kids, children, you know, teenagers, they see people. They can feel a person's vibration. Even at that age. And you can feel people. And sure enough, man, all of us were let go. I'll never forget that. It told me about life. It told me about the imbalance. It told me about the unfairness. And that was one big chunk that said, don't even chase it, bro. Don't even chase the world. Just don't even chase it. Now, I'm glad that other brethren didn't feel that way. Some brethren don't give up. Me, world-wise, I gave up. I didn't give up. I just basically said, hey, man, I ain't wasting my time. I ain't going to waste my time beating the hell out of myself. I mean, I did end up going to college and playing baseball still, but my heart was no longer in it. You know what I mean? It was no longer in it. I mean, I went to some pro camps. My heart wasn't in it. I didn't care. And it translated over to the work world too. Money, I just didn't care for it. And to make a long story short, I didn't realize that I was spiritual. I didn't realize that I was spiritual. And then, like my uncle said, I had to wait until I hit my stride. I had to wait. And it's probably you brethren are probably the same. It's probably the same for you brethren too. The Creator's plan is just beautiful, man. You know, he said that we choose to come into the faith. He said we choose to be this way. That's a mystery to me, man. You know what I mean? That's a mystery to me. How you mean that everybody don't choose to be under the blessing of the Creator? How can that be? I don't understand. You see what I'm saying? I don't get that one. I'm going to be reading today from the book of Ah. The book of Ah. And I'm going to read from it because I was looking at that video of the sister that I was speaking about early on. I was looking at that video, and there's some reading, the OAHSPE is just too incredible, man. It's just, and the vibration that came over me, man, was like, don't, look, you just run. If nobody go with you, you just run. You can't force anybody to believe this thing. You can't, there ain't nothing you can do, Yaquab. There ain't nothing you can do. You just go. You just do what I give you in your heart, and you just keep on going and let me deal with the others. So when you come on this channel and you see me, you see a brother like me, whether hell or high water, it don't matter. And I perceive the same thing as in you, brother, man. Just you free now. You brethren are free. You free to worship. You free to elevate as high as you want. You free to become your highest spiritual, to go to worlds that you never even known of, and you're overstanding, even while in this reality. That's what I perceived that the Creator was telling me just today. Not that you didn't know it, but brethren, we're free, man. It's a shame, if we can't, reach brethren to see it the way we see it. It's just not meant to be that way. But it's time that we really begin to consider, to really realize that there's a separation. The OAHSPE Bible, it talks about a separation, and that's for real. So let me see. My sister didn't give me anything metaphysically to read today, so that means that I can go ahead and start do the reading. I can start with the reading. So let me go ahead and do that. The name of the reading is going to be the book of I believe it is APH. Let me see if I can find it. You're going to love this reading. I know that you brethren, I know that everybody has read this. One thing I know about the OAHSPE is that we have torn through this book. We have went through this book. It seemed like I only had it like a week, and then it was like everywhere I turned, I'd already read it before. Now, let me see. I clicked off of it, so let me go ahead and find it so I can do the reading. Let me do the reading. It's going to be from the book of Ah. The book of Ah. Book of Ah. And I think it's chapter 13 that I'm going to start with. So let me get that. And let me see. Let's find the book of Ah. So, and the summary that the thumbnail sketch of what I recall reading when I was reading it earlier today. It basically it talked a lot about like separation. Let me go ahead and find it so I can bring it up. The book of Ah, that's where I'm going to be doing the reading of today. Book of Ah, right here. So I'm going to start in chapter 13 that I wanted to start with. Now, this chapter, I think it's chapter 13. I'm going to read it and see if, make sure that I'm at least I lost it. I'm at least get started in it. And if it's not the chapter that I wanted to start out in, then I'm going to go to find the chapter that I want to start with. So let me get to chapter 13 here and start reading it. Now, the thing that jumped out at me reading this was the separation. That's what made me think, man, it's about time you realize that you have to run. Yaikwab, you have to run, man. You have to quit trying to get the whole world to see it the way you do. Stop. Don't try. The OAHSPE tell you not to do that anyway. I don't know why I keep trying to. I feel like the creator is saying, don't try to convince people. And that's hard on me. But I agree with that. Just the creator, it's amazing to me. He don't want you trying to convince people. He do not even want you trying. He says, don't proselytize. It's like, this word is for you. It's not for them. If they can't receive it, don't look down on them. Just leave them alone, and their time will come. Your time is now. So just give thanks. Just keep walking. You going to your brethren in the spiritual. The creator said he got a place that fits you and your kind. He got a place. He's got a place for you, and that's where you're going. And it's a blessing, a blessed place. See? Yeah, Bronze, you say you guilty? Yep, me too, bro. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like, man, we got this big old fat pizza, loaded with everything that you could ever want. And you want to give it away, and don't nobody want none of it. You know what I mean? It's loaded with everything, and it's made by the best chef in the world. And you want, that's how people are. When they have an abundance of something good, they want to give it away. See? They want to give it away. You can't do it here in this reality, Yeah, that's right. FGL. Just let your light shine before humanity. Yep. The beauty is you knowing yourself. You knowing you're spiritual, and man, that's you already know you're on top of the world. And then you come into greater overstanding. The OAHSPE is the highest overstanding we have right now. Now you know that every single day, man, you have a chance to elevate in your spirit in the eyes of the creator. That's all you know. So just do it. Just take what's yours and just hit the road, man. And then creator will bring people around, and then you try to bring them on board. Help them if they want to climb up into the ship. Give them, put your hand down and come on, brother, take my hand. If not, peace be unto you. See, that's what it is right there. But we live in a world where, even like in the Bible, it said Peter looked around. Remember, he was in the boat, and Jesus Christ said, Peter said, if it is you, bid thou me come to you. Tell me to come to you. Remember on the water? And Jesus Christ said, come. And so Peter started walking on the water. And then he looked around and he saw the waves and he saw the wind and he began to sink. And I think that's, that story in the Bible is pretty good, because I know that's a lesson I've learned. I keep learning it a lot, man. If you keep looking at the unbelief in the world, and you better be careful, it's you could get your light put out. If you don't want to, it requires a degree of selfishness when you walk in this walk, in the sense that you have to know who you are, and you better remember it. So anyway, let's do the reading. The reading, you're going to see a lot of you're going to see the thing that attracted me to do this reading is the separation I saw between Faithists and Uzians, between Faithists and Uzians, and basically how we can't apologize for that. There just comes a time when you just got to keep walking. You just got to walk, brother. And sometimes it's a lonely path. You just have to walk it. So that's to give you a thumbnail sketch. So let's go ahead and do the reading. Book of Op, chapter 13, verse 1. It says, all things prosper. Now, again, chapter 13, picking up in the middle of what it's been talking about in the previous 12 chapters. And this is like the chapter, I think, that it talks about the flood. But anyway, this is the part that I wanted to share. There's a lot to comment on. And again, if anybody wants to, if you want to comment at any time, anything I say, the link is at the top of the room. You click on that, it'll bring you into the channel here. So I got to be careful because I can't see if somebody comes in. I think, well, I hope it'll show me. I have to watch two screens at once. But anyway, let's do the reading. It says, may the Creator bless the reading of his word. It says, verse 1, all things prospered in heaven for many years. Neither were there great wars on earth, nor famines, nor epidemics. So here we're in a time where it's all good. There's a God in this part of the story, and I think he was just made God. The God is Neph, N-E-P-H, and he's in his kingdom. It's all good. So it says, and the lords of the earth had sufficient Lewis, those who are masters of generations, they watch over the newborn to raise them up for a special purpose. Lewis, they can arrange marriages, these types of spirits, Lewis. And the lords of the earth had sufficient Lewis for all the faiths so as to control high-end marriages, to bring forth sons and daughters who would rejoice in heaven. Verse 2, and as fast as they died on the earth, these angels were carried to heavenly places suited to them, where they were handed to the care of ASAPs and entered as Essenes. But the lords appointed no Lewis over the barbarians, and only commanded the Ashars to watch for their spirits in the hour of death, and if possible, to bring them to the organic places of God in Horeb. And mostly they were. This continued for many years, but eventually the familiar spirits aroused the barbarians, and they began to have dreams and see visions, for their familiars talked to them during sleep. And when this became common, Jehovah said, behold. Now, here where the familiar spirits, see, at the time, earlier in the chapter, you read where the Creator, he said, give them familiar spirits to confirm to people, mortals, that eternal life is real, that life goes on. He says, so let the spirits who cross over, let them go back. Testify, yeah, eternal life is real, man. Me, remember me? I used to be your cousin on earth. I used to be your mom on earth. Those are familiar spirits. They're relatives who come back. And they confirm, at least in these times that the OAHSPE said they first began to appear, the Creator said he did it to make people know that eternal life is real. This ain't all there is. But the problem is that some spirits were coming back. They were saying, and for some reason, they were talking about, I used to be Nebuchadnezzar, and the time that you knew me, and, I used to be, some great and mighty king, and, and that's why it says they aroused the barbarians. It says here, they aroused the familiar spirits. They aroused the barbarians with the tales that they were telling them. They were going outside of the purpose that they were allowed to appear to mortals on earth right after they left the earth. And so it says, and the barbarians began to have dreams and see visions, for their familiars talked to them during sleep. And when this became common, Jehovah said, verse 3, behold, the time has come to appoint Lewis to abide with the barbarians. For in this I will reveal a great secret, which is that my chosen on earth cannot subdue it, for they are a harmless and defenseless people. Therefore I have wisely created the barbarian, for he shall drive away and destroy all the evil beasts and serpents, and the forest shall fall down before him. See, Yogi said, used to be used to be Jeebus. Yeah. I used to be Herod, bro. You know, I used to be Caesar, bro. You didn't know that when I was on earth, but yeah, man, I was see, brethren Israelites, like, I shouldn't do this, man, but it makes me laugh. I remember brethren used to talk like who they used to be in a reincarnation. And yeah, bro. I used to be Samson, man. I believe I used to be Samson, Yeah, man, I think I used to be Joshua. They used to kill me with that. Oh man, I don't want to laugh. I don't want to do that. But it goes along with what we just got finished saying. For some reason, the familiar spirits, they was coming back and they was telling barbarians that, and it was arousing. Now they were, I would assume that they were taking on that, wanting to be, or thinking they were great, and but anyway, let me go on. Verse 4. It says, for this purpose the Lewis shall select marriages with the intent of raising up great kings and queens, overseers, putting people, if I understand it, they putting people together to be married, knowing that the children they were going to have were going to be of a lineage that they were going to be raised, be able to be raised up to be great kings and queens. See, these spirits, man, these guys, they're capable, they're amazing. You probably remember the story about, there are rites and ceremonies that some of us have to go through to, based on what we want to be or what we want to practice. And the spiritual is just like here on the earth. If you want to be you want to be a carpenter, you got to go to carpenter school. If you want to be a writer, you got to go to writer school. This is in the spiritual. People cross over. And if they, from what I understand, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, man. But you get recycled. The Creator, He recycle you. If you are willing, if you want to go to hell, you go to hell, And if you want to go to your God, you want to go to Jesus Christ, you go to Him and He'll make a slave out of you. The Jesus of the Bible. If you want to go to Muhammad, you go to him. He'll make a slave out of you. The false Brahma, the false Buddha. I'm a Brahma, I'm a Buddhist. You go to them and they'll make a slave out of you. And you won't come out until you desire to go to the Creator. That's what the OAHSPE seems to be saying. Somebody correct me, man, if I'm wrong. I'm just giving the thumbnail sketch. It says, for this purpose, the Lewis, they shall select marriages with the intent of raising up great kings and queens. But since in the old days, the kings depended on the prophets of God for counsel and thus were advised against killing and anything I had created alive. And they quarreled with God's prophets. So in this time of the new heaven, you shall permit the kings and queens to consult the spirits of the dead with the talents I have given them. I don't understand that a whole lot, so I'm gonna leave it alone. It says verse 5. This was done also, and the barbarians were attended by familiar spirits, many of whom took upon themselves. See, that's what I was just talking about. There it is, right there. Hey, Alpha. Love, light, and peace. Love, light, and peace to you. See, that's just what I was talking about. That right here. It said many of the familiar spirits that came back, they took upon themselves any name pleasant to the ear. Some calling themselves God or Lord, or after the name of some great king of the past. See? And these familiars being stupid. Now, that's not the word that is meant to sound like it is. Let me show you. It says, some familiars being stupid suppose themselves to be such persons. So familiar spirits are relatives. So somehow they don't have the understanding they have when they come back as familiar spirits. See over here, the footnote. See, this is a footnote here. This word here is stupid. It's footnote 320. And then we come over here and it says, when OAHSPE uses the word stupid, it is not in a pejorative, meaning belittling, disparaging form. Nor is it derisive, meaning abusive sense, which is so common today. It said, but refers to those in a mental and spiritual stupor, dull and slow-witted, generally devoid of wisdom, lacking much spiritual intelligence or mental acumen. So it's not meant to be an insult when it says, and these familiars being stupid. It just, but you can just say like they were in a low vibration, okay? You know what I mean? Being on a lower vibration, supposed themselves to be great people, familiar spirits who were coming back and telling the people that on earth, yeah, I used to be Alexander the Great, for whatever reason, that type of thing. It says, verse 6, the result of their stupid impressions was to inspire or, like it says earlier, arouse barbarians to believe they were attended by gods or lords or by spirits of kings or queens, see? So that it rubbed off on them. Now they were thinking, well, maybe I'm Julius Caesar, or maybe I'm Muhammad Ali, It rubbed off on them, getting them to think, I'm somebody, I'm really somebody, bro. Did you know that I'm really great? I just don't know it right now. That spirit was rubbing off on them. It says, so they held up their heads, the barbarians, because they were being dealt with familiar spirits. They held up their heads and began to think. For as it had been said by the gods of ancient times, some were led by flattery, some by self-conceit, some by duty, some by love of righteousness. But there are others who can be led to self-improvement by persuading them they are specially chosen by some god or lord or the spirit of a famous king or queen to work wonders. So it says, verse 7, God said there was a certain sick man. So he's going to give us the lesson of how this, based on what you believe, it could benefit you. It could work to your advantage. So he says, verse 7, God said there was a certain sick man who could not be cured by the physicians. And a foolish woman came along, seeing visions, and said to the sick man, tomorrow you shall be healed. God has been trying you, but you have proven yourself in soul, and your God will withdraw the spell of your infirmity. Behold, your God stands beside you. It says, now on the following day, the sick man put forth his own spirit. He believed it. And he rose up and was well. That's a powerful lesson there, man. I hope that we all get there. We come to the day and say, what am I doing not believing? Why am I in this unbelief? No, man, I'm healed. I'm well. I'm not sick, Now, I know that sounds crazy. I believe that world is really out there, and we've been put to sleep concerning it. I really do believe that. I hope the Creator shows us how to get out of that mind. We home free. We ever get out of that mind, man. Somebody start testifying. We're home free then. It says, for which reason it has been acknowledged that even deceit, it may accomplish what truth could not. Deceit. It said, so the Creator is saying, allow then the familiars to lead the barbarians on for a season, a little while. He said, but be watchful, and at the proper time appoint new spirits to be with them. So Creator says sometimes he uses deceit to accomplish a good thing. Deceit, the Creator. Just like with idolatry, he said, allow him. He said, allow images and idols to be resurrected. He used that at a time to draw men. Oh, let me see. Right, Ashiel says there's a brother right now that says he stole reincarnated. I don't like to laugh, man, but I just look at the pride of men, how much they want other men to acknowledge them. I mean, there's a real desire people have to be great in the eyes of other people. What good is it, man? If it's a lie, why? What is, pride? What good is it when it's a lie? I mean, that's a real thing. People want to be great, you know what I mean, in other people's eyesight. They have that need, you know what I mean? Verse 9, it says, God said, instruct the lords that the time has now come to reveal to mortals, especially to IHNs, the 7 tetracts. Okay, y'all remember the 7 tetracts, the negative attitudes? It said, for as the Ashars are withdrawn in the pace, so shall mortals advance the pace. So, as the Ashars, meaning those who watch over you, they watch over your spirit to elevate you. They kind of take a step back so that we can take a step forward in our understanding. We see Ashel says, and he's been speaking on a lot of platforms, this brother who he says he stole. First of all, the fact that he says he's stole reincarnated, that lets you know right there that brother is he's deceiving people. That right there, I mean, according to the OAHSPE, there is no reincarnation. There is no, you were born and then you come back and be born again. After this reality, brethren, we go into the spirit and we never come back into the flesh. So, I mean, we live in a world like that. People do it all the time. Short-term gain, like defrauding people, stealing from people. And then you get the money, but then when the money runs out, that stain is on your soul now. It's on your character. It's on your character, man, And those marks against your character, they build up. And then that's where all of a sudden problems, mental vexations, and your consciousness just start killing you. Because you thought the world is about short-term gain. They really, politicians, they like that. They willing to sell out the country for a few dollars for a short while, and they don't mind lying about it. We live in that type of reality now because the spiritual grade of the nation, it just keeps going down and down and down, and don't nobody really care. It's like the mindset of people in power now, politicians, government leaders, their mindset is not, it's like, well, look, man, I'm gonna get mine before it all goes, before it all falls down, meaning the system that we live in, the government, that sort of thing, is really every man for himself type of attitude. And people don't mind lying now. They don't mind, they don't care about their character, but now they don't mind lying to you to get so that they can, they can get paid. It reminds me of that senator that's in the news right now, Menendez, New Jersey, got caught for a second time with his hand in the cookie jar. Hand in the cookie jar, corruption. Same with the president, he's corrupt. Same with Donald Trump, he's corrupt. They don't care, man. People, they look at you as the sucker. You, brethren, are suckers to them. It's like they're saying, you believe in living under the law, obeying the law. They make they make laws for you, not for them. They go for it, meaning the money. And they don't care about what you think. You know what I mean? That's where we live. And young children, they see that. That's why they get out there and start acting buck wild. Because people, very simply, you see in a decline of people who don't care nothing about your character before the Creator. And that's the one thing that will deliver you. That's the one thing that's going to deliver us, is our character. Your character, it means something. And we live in a world where people, they, forget that, man. They feel they ain't getting paid by their character. So what the hell, you see it every day. Verse 10, which is to say, now here are the Hebrew tetracts. It mentions here the 7 tetracts, the Hebrew tetracts. These are the tetracts that the Creator, he allowed to be put on men. Tetracts. It says, these are the inheritances of all men born on earth. APH, which means persistent stubbornness. Persistent stubbornness. By word or thought. APH. It's called, that's one of the Hebrew tetracts. Negative attitudes. One is called APH. Persistent stubbornness by word or thought. Persistent stubbornness by word or thought. Zimna, which is wicked devices. Ra, delight in being bad. Delight. There are people on the earth, man, they get a kick out of being evil. They get a kick out of it. A delight in being bad. Belial, worthlessness. Avon, vanity and self-conceit. You see that a lot. People want to be beautiful for the sake of power and advantage. Conceited, can only see what they see, can't see what others see. Only can see what is important to them. This is one of the Hebrew tetracts. Dibba, which is slander and reporting of evils. And finally, there's Satan, to be a leader, especially to the delight of the other 6 Hebrew tetracts. And Creator says these are the influences that men are under today. We're under these influences today. Verse 11, it says, these are the members of the beasts of all men and women under the sun. Everybody. It says, nor is it anyone without them in some manner or degree. See, Creator said he put this on all men. The Hebrew tetracts. These things, they're on all, even faithists. All of these attitudes, these mindsets, these vibrations, they apply to each one of us. It says, go therefore to the Lords and say to them, Jehovah has set the beginning of the resurrection through his son, chief of the ark of Noah, to lay the tetracts on the shoulders of mortals. So it's like he's saying now our trials begin dealing with the Hebrew tetracts and negative attitudes, negative vibrations of our mind. What we're going to have to overcome. We're going to have to deal with. These things are going to also sharpen the faiths, because we got to deal against these things, the Hebrew tetracts, those 7 vibrations. Verse 12, it says, the marshals of the count. Now, marshals are leaders who are not gods. Marshals, correct me if I'm wrong. It says the marshals of the council provided messengers who were immediately sent down to the different divisions of the earth. For the tetracts were some of the words selected in heaven to be given as everlasting names, which after ages the tribes of faithists could be discovered. And they were given alike to the faithists of Gautama, which is America, Japhet, which is China. You see, I think Shem is Asia and Ham is Africa, right? Who were the sons of the ark of Noah, preserved on the earth in that day. For these words inherited by the Hebraic, Vedic, and Algonquin languages were provided to be synonymous till the coming of the cosmic era. So these words, the 7 tetracts, it's like basically they cross over in other languages that can be understood by anyone. Synonymous, it says here, till the coming of the cosmic era. Now here's a footnote over here. Let's read it. It says, and the mortals shall be made aware of the tetracts and learn to take responsibility. Oh, look here, we got Brother Daryl. Yay! That's my brother. And the mortals shall be made aware of the tetracts and learn to take responsibility for them. All, whether as mortals or angels, must transcend those expressions of the beasts in order to inherit the higher heavens. All, whether as mortals or angels, we must transcend these expressions of the beast. See? Our fight is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and spiritual wickedness in high places. See what we got to fight against? That's why every day, you brethren, we get tested. I was sharing the other day about, I was sitting there outside my power chair, just enjoying the sun, and there were 3 white men behind me. And one of them is two-faced. He's two-faced. I hate to keep violating the OAHSPE. They talk about reporting of evils. I was out there and there were 3 white men behind me talking, and the subject of monkeys came up. And one of them said, and we got monkeys that live here too. And I knew which one said it. It's the one he's two-faced. And I don't know how I did it, but I held my peace. And they heard me. They know I heard them. And I held my peace because I know how it is in this reality. You get tested. Hey, Daryl, I'm going to put the link in the room in case you want to come in, or anybody. I hope you want to give a word or say something or just check in, brother. Let me put the link in there. I don't want to force anybody, you know what I mean? But I want to make the room to where, brethren, my dream is to see 10 brethren, talking together on whatever. So anybody, you can hit the link, and I'm going to try to watch both screens. My screen ain't big enough to let me trying to work with it now. But anyway, it says mortals shall be made aware of the tetracts and learn to take responsibility for them. So see, we got to take responsibility for the Hebrew tetracts and negative mindsets. It says, whether as mortals or angels, we must transcend those expressions of the beast in order to inherit our heavens. So angels, they got to deal with Hebrew tetracts too. Angels, isn't that something? So you know what? I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna take a few minutes and see if anybody want to come on and share anything, want to say anything before the final 15 minutes of reading. So I'll give it a couple minutes. Just hit the link, come in. It's been an interesting read so far. It's basically showing the separation. It's showing the separation between faithists and mortals. It's interesting way the Creator is showing us. He showed you that, brethren, the spiritual side of the deception that was at one point taking place, where it came from, so to speak, with the familiar spirits, and the effect. I mean, even to this day, I mean, he took them away. He said he took them away. Later on, when you read this, he said that it's going to be revisited upon men. It's going to be revisited upon men. Exactly why, I don't know. But he said that it's, in the cosmic era, it was going to be revisited upon men. So, all right, no takers. I'm going to just keep reading till the end then. Keep reading till the end. Chapter 14. Book of Ab, chapter 14, it says, the voice of Jehovah came to God, saying, behold, the time draws near when my son, shall commit the care of Horeb and her affairs to another God for 400 years. This sin is the commandment of your Creator. Oh my goodness. I forgot to turn off the stove. Hold on 1 second. Oh man, oh man. That's ginger tea, man. Ginger tea. It's good for all kinds of things, man. Ginger tea. Okay, it says, this then is the commandment of your Creator, O God. Horeb shall advance into the second resurrection. But the first resurrection shall be established with my lords. Second resurrection, first resurrection. From what I understand, first resurrection, individuality. Second resurrection, corporal worship together. Community worship. Verse 2, and when the Lord has a sufficient number of souls who are advanced to take the second resurrection, then they shall be brought to this, my holy place, where they shall be further prepared even for the next resurrection. So a good little snapshot of what's going on with us as faithists. Don't think that we're not in a serious situation if we forget who we are. If we don't examine ourselves, and we don't realize where we at. We in the beast kingdom. We're outnumbered. We see the fruits of the beast kingdom. That's why it's important. Knowledge, I'm telling you, is important. We see the children of men are losing their kingdom. That's the benefit of looking at the world. I look geopolitically, meaning I look at the events of nations and the relationships between them to learn a lesson. If you don't practice doing, brethren, one thing I know I have learned in my life if you don't practice looking at the world, if you don't practice looking at how you are different, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be hard on you to make this walk. It's going to be hard, man. You know, and I'm going to say this, if you don't remember that you are different, if you don't, I'm telling you, you better tell yourself, you know, even in the Bible, it says, make sure, it says, take heed that no man take thy crown. Remember? Revelation 2:11. That was a good saying right there. Take heed that no man, what is Revelation 2:11? Take heed that no man steal thy crown, King James Version. Behold, I come quickly. Hold fast. Here's a good word out of the Bible. That's a pretty good word, man. Now, so far as him coming again, you know, it's problematic, if you ask me, but this is the part that I'm emphasizing. Hold that fast which thou hast, that no man take thy crown. That's a good word for faith. For faith this. Hold fast. Try to produce fruit. Try to think of what the commandment of the Creator is, man. Elevate. Remember your brother. That's important. You know, examine yourself, man. You know, all right. It says, and when the Lord has a sufficient number of souls who are advanced to take the second resurrection, then they shall be brought to this, my holy place, where they shall be further prepared, even for the next resurrection. It says, verse 3, this was accomplished, and for the first resurrection, heavenly kingdoms with thrones for the lords were established, both on the earth and also in the division of the lords. 33 years were allotted to these lords' kingdoms for a resurrection, because 33 is the division of the Dan, corresponding to 100 Dans to each cycle. And then the footnote over here, we bring the screen over. See if I can bring the screen over. Oh, shoot. Let's bring the screen over. Okay, it says 33 times 100. 33 times 100. I'm reading the footnote over here. 33 times 100 equals 3,300. 3,300 years was seen to be the ideal Dan-Ha length. That's a high time, like what we're in right now, Cosmic Era, Dan-Ha time, high time of enlightenment, while 3,000 years is the average length. Okay. So it says this was accomplished, and for the first resurrection, heavenly kingdoms with the thrones for the Lord were established. Heavenly kingdoms for the Lords were established. It says both on the earth and also in the divisions of the Lords. 33 years were allotted to these Lords' kingdoms for resurrection, because 33 is division of a Dan, corresponding to 100 Dans each cycle. And then verse 4, it says, accordingly, every 33 years after that, there was one migration of a group from the Lord's first resurrection, of that of Horeb, which was God's second resurrection. In accordance with that, the light of Dan fell on 200 years, 400 years, 500 years, 600 years, 1,000 years, which became the base of prophecy for each cycle. from that time forward for a long period. So you calculate the beginning of Dan, you count 200 years, 400 years, 500 years, 600 years, 1,000 years, and it's a harvest. That leads to a harvest time. It's a prophetical. It's a schedule of prophecy for harvest time, a harvest. It's a cycle of time telling us of a harvest. So right now we know that, I think, 2029, right? 2029 represents the next harvest of some kind. Is it 2049, right? Yeah, 200 years, 1849, 1849, 1949, 2049 is 200 years, right? So we know that in 2049 is some type of event for us, in addition to whatever is planned until we get to that time. So let me see, we're in 2024 right now. So that's like what, 16 years? Or what is it? 2024. Let me see, plus 25 years or something. We know that there's some event for us according to this cycle right here. Very interesting. Verse 14, it says, God said, close the gates of Horeb. From this time forward, only those of the second resurrection may enter. You see the separation? These are things that we live in a reality that are not appreciated. These spiritual things, people are going to learn too late. We in the body right now, we got an ability to shape our future. That's what is really that's the important thing right there that we don't really even care about. That I can read from the OAHSPE. We are in the body, man. That mean that each of you got an opportunity right now to determine your spirituality. You got the opportunity. Do you want to make the first resurrection? Do you want to make the second? Is it important to you? For the world, it's not important. That's why it make what we are doing, it make what you're doing so important. We looking at a world that don't care nothing about this type of thing that we're talking about here on this, and other brothers' channel. Hey, Daryl, if you still here, would you look in the description box? I want to make sure I got your channel up too. Probably not, because you just started yours, but I'm not sure. I'm going to look after the video, make sure that I put your channel up. If you hear Daryl, if you want, you can put the link to your channel also. Put the link to your channel in the chat here if you're in here, still in here. So verse 5, it says, God said, close the gates of Horeb. Now that's the place where of the kingdom. This was the place of I think it was the kingdom of the god Neph, Neph. His kingdom was called Horeb. This chapter is taking place in Horeb, a place called Horeb. God said, close the gates of Horeb. And from this time forward, only those of the second resurrection may enter. Brethren who want to work together, who want to be together, they're like-minded brethren. It says, and it was so. And God extended Horeb over Japheth, Shem, and Ham. China, Africa, and Asia, or India, Shem, to the second degree. And God extended Horeb over Japheth, Shem, and Ham to the second degree. But of Gautama, her heaven was as follows. The Lord made two kingdoms, the first and second resurrections, and allotted the first to a proxy in his own name, but over the second he presided in person, teaching his people by proxy of God in Horeb. For the distance of the sea lay between these heavens, and the access could not be made in the diminutive light of 33. Nevertheless, the Lord and his attendants maintained an Ethereal ship that enabled him to cross the sea at all intervals of 11 years. Verse 6, it says, accordingly now, in the second resurrection, new colleges were established in heaven, and the spirits began the study of elements and illustrations in spirit and Uz. This is interesting right here. It's talking about things like microbiology, quantum physics. If I'm not mistaken, way back then, it says, accordingly now, in the second resurrection, new colleges were established in heaven, and the spirits these are the spirits, begin the study of elements and illustrations in S and Uz. Isn't that interesting? Unless I'm wrong, it's talking about, let's see, here's a footnote. It says, for example, illustrating the properties of an element in the spirit world, then condensing it to corporal and examining its properties, and then dissolving Uz, the element, back to spirit, its atmospheric form. So it says, and these spirits were at times under ashars, taking down to mortals to assist in miracles and legerdemain, which is magic. For the lessons in the second resurrection embrace the mastery of corporal, physical, and analysis and synthesis. So in the spiritual, they get the knowledge of like microbiology, which man uses nowadays to make bombs and weapons, and in its corrupted form, starts in the spirit, and it gets down to the physical. And after the first year of God in Hatawan, he went there every 11th year and remained 1 year of the earth's time, so that 200 years he made 18 visits. Now, on the first visit, he brought back with him a certain number of volunteers who had. Okay, so it's going to get kind of dry in its reading. And so I'm going to just end it right there. About time to end the reading anyway. And think I'm going to end that reading right there. And open it up for any time. And you know what? I wasn't even sharing the screen. Oh, man. How long was that? I wasn't even sharing the screen. I hope it wasn't long. Anyway, let me read. This is where I was reading. I wasn't sharing the screen. I don't know how long. Hope it wasn't long. So you can read for yourself. I hope it wasn't a long time, man. So you can read for yourself what I was reading from. I'm sorry, I forgot to share the screen. I forgot. I got to stop that. Okay, and that was it. All right, well, I'm going to open it up for if anyone wants to come on and wants to give a word, then you are most welcome. The link is right there in the chat. So let me give it a couple minutes. See what has been written. Don't think I missed anything. So basically, what we read, the summary, just to summarize it, Creator talked a little bit about the angels. He talked about separation the separating of the first and the second resurrection. Talked a little bit about the reasoning for allowing familiar spirits to come to brethren to prove that the eternal was real. That was an interesting little read about the elements. That was interesting. Starting in the spirits and then to physicality, where men use the knowledge of the elements to. Remember, it talks about in the OAHSPE how a foul smell, I think, was developed for warfare purposes. So, very interesting. Very interesting how the Creator Shem talking about what did he say about America, China, India, and Africa? The Tetracts, when they started, why they started. The Creator said he did it. It's like the trial, the Tetracts, the attitudes. I'm trying to find it right here, verse 10. Persistent stubbornness by word or thought. These are the Hebrew Tetracts that affect people, faithists too. All men, it said. We have this to one degree or another. Wicked device, raw, delight in being bad, Belial, worthlessness, haven, vanity, and self-conceit, Dibah, slander and reporting of evils, and Satan, a desire to be a leader, and especially to the delight of the other six entities. It's amazing that this type of thing is in the world, isn't it? It's amazing. The whole world is under the Hebrew Tetracts, and Creator calls it an inheritance. All right, well, that's it, man. Thanks for joining me, brethren. I want to give thanks to the Heavenly Father, Earthly Mother, for this opportunity to be a light while I'm in this reality. No videos on the weekend, and until I see you again Monday, Heavenly Father willing, peace, love, and light be to you all. Shalom.